There are few manufacturers that play in the premium soundbar space, fewer still that offer a wireless Dolby Atmos and DTS:X solution, and fewer still that will also sell you a motorcycle or a grand piano. That's right, today we're talking Yamaha. So let's jump on the bike, cue the music, and let me take you on a tour of their new True X Surround 90A system. What we have here is a 5.1.2 setup that includes a full-size soundbar with 2 upfiring driver arrays, a wireless subwoofer, and 2 wireless surround speakers. Everything you need to have an immersive Dolby Atmos experience. I'd like to make a very important note right up front about the 90A system that sets it apart from almost every other offering. You don't have to download an app. You don't have to create an account. You don't have to register anything for the system to work. Yes, it's plug and play, ready to go, right out of the box. Even pairing the sub and surrounds is a phoneless process. After more than my fair share of setting up sound systems that require you to submit your email for certain features to activate, or to have an app for the system to work at all, I cannot express how overjoyed I was to not have to do any of those things while setting this system up in my house. Everything you need can be accessed via the on-screen display and navigated to with the included remote, up to signing on to your home network. Pull in? Every manufacturer should do this, full stop. So, now that you have it out of the box, what are we looking at? Being at the top end of Yamaha's range, the 90A doesn't skimp on quality. The soundbar is heavy, made of metal with a cloth grille on the front, and the fit and finish are first rate. There's a screen on the front with basic controls alongside 4 full-range drivers and 3 dome tweeters behind the grille. Up top, 12 beamforming drivers, 6 aside, bounce sound off your ceilings for the height channels. Yamaha even includes wall mounting brackets in the box. Aesthetics, as always, are in the eye of the beholder, but I think the 90A looks quite handsome in an 80s retro from the future sort of kind of way. The subwoofer, containing a 6 3/4 inch front firing driver, is substantial, and I heard no shakes or rattles from the unit itself. The speaker 3A surrounds are almost entirely cloth wrapped, hiding 2 2.3 inch drivers and their associated passive radiators. They have a soft touch rubber feeling top with good tactile feedback anytime you press the buttons. In addition, you also get 2 charging pads for the wireless surrounds. Not only do the 3As serve up wireless audio, but they're also battery powered. That means if you have a space where you'd prefer to not always have surround speakers visible, they can live on their charging pads, out of sight and out of mind, only to emerge when you want the full immersive experience. Yamaha states 12 hours per charge, and in testing I was never able to run them out before I had to turn off the system and remember to go outside. As a bonus, one touch of the solo button on either of the speaker 3As will turn it into a wireless Bluetooth speaker, which sounds great and travels around the house for podcasts in the kitchen or music on the deck with ease. When you want it to be part of the whole system, you just press the button once more and it integrates back to being a surround. No need to pair it again. Now that the what's it like to live with discussion is out of the way, let's talk about what it can do and how it sounds. On the soundbar itself, you get an optical input, an Ethernet port, an HDMI eARC port to connect your TV, and a single HDMI input that will pass through picture to your TV. This HDMI port will pass along 4K 60Hz as well as Dolby Vision and HDR10+, and is the preferred way to make sure you're getting the full lossless audio formats for Dolby or DTS from something like a Blu-ray player or a PS5. For the wireless connections, there's Bluetooth and wireless Apple AirPlay 2, as well as support for Tidal Connect and Spotify Connect. Yamaha's MusicCast app offers integration for other popular streaming services like Qobuz, Deezer, and many others, as well as tying the True X Surround system into any other MusicCast-compatible speakers you might have around the house. You can also group speakers into rooms for easy categorization. With the plethora of ways to get music and movies into the bar, what does it sound like when it all comes out again? I had the 90A in a medium-sized room with 8-foot ceilings. Now, that ceiling height is important because if you were to place this or any upfiring Atmos system in a room with high or vaulted ceilings, the returns quite literally diminish. This isn't an issue of Yamaha's so much as it's an issue of physics, since the drivers bounce sound off the ceilings for the height channels. While there isn't a full room calibration, you still have the ability to adjust bass and treble, the surround speaker levels, and the upfiring speaker levels, along with their beam angle, either putting the action more over your head or more over the TV to your liking. There are both bass boost and dialogue boost modes as well. Now, I think Yamaha did a great job with how the system sounds, and, like the setup process, appreciated not having to go through endless menus, calibrations, and options, all to get a sound that is both pleasant and powerful. This system is both a breeze to set up and wonderful to listen to. watching hours of films, ranging from the Blu-rays of North by Northwest, to the Criterion release of No Country for Old Men, to the reference-grade audio of the Lord of the Rings Trilogy 4K release, each offers their own insight on how the 90A handles different soundscapes. The expansion of North by Northwest's score from its theatrical mono presentation to the 5.1 mix on the disc fills the room with tension. On the other hand, the complete lack of score and subsequent filling of space with atmosphere in the DTS HD 5.1 mix of No Country really puts you out there in the middle of nowhere, with wisps of wind feeling like they're rustling scrub brush that's right over your shoulder. The contrast between the whisper quiet scene of hobbits hiding from a ring wraith versus the absolute cacophony during the Battle of Pelennor Fields shows amazing dynamic range without sacrificing clarity at all volume levels of the 90A system. The Dolby Atmos True HD mix here puts on full display all the height effects and tuning cohesion Yamaha has to offer. Dialogue is easy to hear at all times, front and center. This whole system can very much get the neighbors at the door again loud. For movies and shows, Yamaha offers Surround AI, which is meant to upmix non-Atmos sources into something resembling a native Atmos track. To my ear, this works about as well as equivalent technologies from other manufacturers. It certainly does put sound in all the speakers, but you can hear it guessing and filtering things in the mix. At first, finding a way to make all of my content Atmos content sounded great. Who wouldn't want to use all of the drivers that I paid for all of the time? That being said, I found myself being distracted more often than I was immersed. Your mileage may vary, but when watching movies, streaming, or TV, I kept the system set to straight without any upmixing. Music, on the other hand, is quite different. First off, as someone who prefers to listen to music on a set of stereo speakers over most soundbars, I was pleasantly surprised by the 90A's melding of soundbar and sub. This system is very tight in the mid-bass, it's snappy. That gives a lot of clarity where other systems can lack definition. It lightens up tracks of any genre and gives them a clean feeling presentation. Atmos tracks via title hit and float around the room just as well as any movie mix. Yamaha offers another technology to spread a stereo track around the whole 5.1.2 setup. They call it Oro 3D audio, and in contrast to what they do with movie or TV mixes, this is pure magic. Turning this on while playing music over Spotify Connect, I was expecting the same kind of experience as Surround AI, but I audibly gasped the first time a song came on with Oro 3D engaged. It's extremely hard to explain without being in the room, but it's as if the track is hugging you. It's not so much instruments zipping around the room, it's more as if the room itself was what you were listening to. Imogen Heap's The Walk feels like you're in a hurricane with all the instrumentation swirling around you. Sufjan Stevens' Flint off Greetings from Michigan feels like you're inside the piano. And from the piano man himself, We Didn't Start the Fire puts you on the floor of Madison Square Garden. It is genuinely astonishing how effortless it sounds. Now, why can't Yamaha stuff that technology into their Surround AI mode? Beats me. But if or when they figure it out, it would be a game changer for upmixing audio across all sources. So, the True X Surround 90A package is easy to set up, built well, and sounds great. Frankly, it should for its price point. And the truth is, once you get to this level of full-size premium soundbar systems, they all sound great. The largest variable is the room you're going to put it in. That's really going to make the largest difference, and where a lack of room calibration for Yamaha's offering may raise some eyebrows. But calibration or no, the ease of use of the 90A, from setup to interaction to not having to sign up or log on or be connected to the internet at all for it to work with your TV, is something we are rapidly losing in the home audio space. This is something I believe that's worth holding on to. I'll be sad to see the system go back now that my testing is done, but I'll sleep a little better knowing that one company is still out there trusting their designers to get it right out of the box and provide you with a product that you can just enjoy. If you have any questions about this or any other systems for your home theater, just get in touch with us here at Crutchfield. Thanks for watching.